Let's talk about Microvision. In this video, I will be discussing MVIS stock. This stock is now down 85% from its 2021 high of over $28, but the stock is beginning to recover in the past 2 weeks, having gained over 40% since February 23rd. Microvision are primarily focused on LiDAR systems for the EV industry, and as we know, energy stocks and EV industry in general are going to be huge over the coming years. So in this video I will look at the overall company and the latest investors presentation to show you something that I think gets overlooked a lot in their technology. I will look at the charts to find you a good entry point, and I will assess the latest financial statements to see what's really going on and see if this stock is likely to continue to rise, or will MVIS stock fall in the coming weeks. If you like the content, can you smash the like button? It literally costs you nothing, but it helps me out so much, and it shows me that you want to see more content like this. Now let's get into it. So who are Microvision? Microvision is a technology company developing sensors for the automotive safety and autonomous driving applications. This is a pioneering company in MEMS-based laser beam scanning technology that integrates MEMS, lasers, optics, hardware, algorithms, and machine learning software into its proprietary technology to address existing and emerging markets. Now, up until the last couple of years, LiDAR had been very much flying under the radar for many investors, but this technology is going to be heavily used going forward for autonomous vehicles. And although demand for LiDAR is still very low, it is rising year over year, and I expect that sooner rather than later this demand will see a sharp rise. The company was founded in 1993 and was listed on Nasdaq in 1996, so this is not a new company by any means, but I cannot call this a mature company either. They have been developing and perfecting this for over a decade. They started LiDAR R&D in 2011, long before there was any major hype around the EV sector or autonomous driving in particular. This just goes to show how forward thinking this company was at the time. Microvision uses a technology to develop automotive LiDAR sensors and provide solutions for advanced driver assisted systems, or ADAS, based on their experience building augmented reality microdisplay engines and interactive display modules. Now this in particular is really cool, and I will talk a little bit more about this in a moment because this is massively overlooked when people talk about Microvision. Microvision has been developing MEMS technology since 1997 to meet the cost and size requirements of laser beam scanning applications. Microvision's MEMS technology IP contains innovations in biaxial scanning, electromagnetic and PZT actuation technologies, MEMS drive control systems, and MEMS fabrication and packaging. They have been designing custom ASICs, or application-specific integrated circuits, since 2006 to meet the end product size, cost and power requirements. Accumulated IP includes various scan beam controls to enhance laser display, image quality and 3D sensing fidelity. Microvision software IP spans from low-level device controls to high-level interactivity and 3D sensing algorithms. They introduced the first commercial ultra-miniature laser beam display engine in 2009, integrating MEMS, laser diodes, optics and electrics into a single high-performance manufacturer module. But what I think is really cool about Microvision is that they have developed their interactive laser beam display module, which can turn any surface into a virtual touchscreen. It uniquely enables compact product form factors with large on-demand interactive displays. Whenever we talk about Microvision, it is always in relation to the EV sector and autonomous vehicles, but I think that this technology could have an even greater impact in the future, but that is just my opinion. But before you think that I am going to just keep talking up this company, that is not what this video is about, and there is a reason why this has dropped from nearly $30 last year right down to less than $3 last month. So stick around for me to explain this. Microvision also develops best-in-class field-of-view augmented reality technology, which provides the key component for AR displays and is optimized for see-through AR with readability even in bright sunlight. So early last week, the company released their full year 2021 financial results and a summary presentation. So let's take a quick look at this. Core technology developed and delivered to the US military, delivered technologies to leading global tech giants, established semiconductor partnership network, and strong leadership roots. Now, the first thing that you will notice here is that these are major worldwide corporations such as Google, Microsoft, and Sony, but also the Department of Defense, which is something that I love to see. I always like to see government contracts because these have the potential to generate considerable revenue in the future, and quite likely this will generate recurring revenue. But equally important here is the strong IP foundation and tech talent with over 430 patents in MEMS-based technology. So this is huge. It's all good and well developing great technology, but it's vital to have the patent protection in place to safeguard the technology. And they claim that the technology has superior functionality at a much lower cost to competitors, and an overall rapidly decreasing cost and higher scalability of LiDAR-based systems will see the serviceable addressable market grow tenfold over the next decade to a potential $120 billion annual market. And Microvision are predicting future success with revenues of between $2 to $4 billion and EBITDA of between $1 to $2 billion within the next 8 years. And I will discuss this more in a moment when I look at the financials. As we see here, Microvision's LiDAR outperforms all others in the market. Although these companies cannot be named here, you can just Google LiDAR companies, there's not that many of them, and you will see that Microvision is valued very low compared to its peers when you consider that they possibly have the best technology. And finally, this presentation was wrapped up with the key investment highlights, which include the large potential market with the best-in-class LiDAR. They have a unique go-to-market strategy with a low operating expense through direct partnerships with OEMs. They have their patents and a strong IP portfolio, and they have their strong balance sheet, which I will look at now. Now keep in mind that the stock has had a massive decline over the past 8 or 9 months, from high to low dropping over 90%. Microvision made significant progress in 2021, delivering the first generation long-range LiDAR sensor early in the year, demonstrating its best-in-class cost advantage and key features, and receiving positive feedback and continued interest from automotive OEMs and Tier 1 suppliers, said Sumit Sherpa, Microvision's CEO. We look forward to track testing our high-speed highway pilot system in the US and Germany in Q2 2022. We grew our employee base from 52 employees last March to 97 employees today and are expanding our R&D labs and testing infrastructure in Redmond. We are pleased with our progress scaling the team and ramping our efforts up to be the leading provider of LiDAR and ADS solutions. The key financial highlights include 50% increase in revenue compared to Q4 2020, but to be fair, this is a tiny amount of revenue. The net loss and negative EBITDA have increased massively, however, and cash burn is way up too. But cash reserves have increased greatly too, so obviously for anyone who's new to the company, they have diluted the shareholders. Looking at the income statement, we can see just how bad this really is. Pretty much no revenue and an overall loss for the year of $43 million. However, the overall health of a company is not based on the 3-month earnings or even their 12-month earnings reports. A company's balance sheet is the true indication of a company's health. We can see here that Microvision have total assets of $130 million compared to total liabilities of 17.4, giving the company an asset to liability ratio of approximately 8 to 1, which is very healthy. With total current assets of $119 million, and total current liabilities of $12 million, meaning that the current ratio is approximately 10 to 1. Again, this is fantastic. And they have cash and cash equivalents of over $80 million, which would be enough to fund this company at its current cash burn rate of $29 million for about the next 30 months at least. And looking at the notes to the accounts from the most recent filings, we can see that the company have entered into several equity offering agreements over the past 2 years. Most recent of these from June 2021, where there is agreements for up to $140 million, of which today they have issued 4 million shares for total proceeds of $67 million. Now this was back in June, And we can see here the effect that that had on the share price. Guys, if you appreciate this type of analysis and the work involved here and want to support my work to bring you the most honest assessments possible, please hit the like button and check out my Patreon, where I warned about Mullen stock during the week. And you can see some of my other posts here too, such as Flowtech, that despite initially dropping, has gained over 32% this week. Ilus has gained over 50% since my post here. By the way, I had originally called ilus on here at only 5 cents last year. And Attico Mining gained over 12% in the past month. You can join the Patreon group for as little as $3.50 a month, and this will really help me grow my channel. Keep in mind that these gains are coming at a time when most of the stock market is red nearly every single day. And we can see that as of September 30th, we had issued 4 million shares of our common stock. And again, the effect that that has had on the share price going forward, having dropped as low as only $2 back in February. So you have to keep in mind here that there is potential for more dilution to the tune of up to $73 million, which at the current share price would mean that they would have to dilute by far more shares than they previously did back in June, which at the current share price would be approximately 18 million shares, which is quite considerable considering that there is approximately currently 160 million shares. But I think that it's unlikely that they would dilute shareholders now when the share price is so low and while they have so much cash on hand already, but this is something that you would need to keep in mind if investing. This agreement is already in place. Looking at the charts, we can see the steady decline that the stock has been on, going all the way back to June 2021 before hitting bottom at the end of January at only $2.60. Since then, the stock has come up and found resistance on a number of occasions at around $4, each time bouncing back to about $3. But I think that this trend is ending now. I feel the floor was $3 and now it is starting to move back up, having finished the week at $4.37. We had been seeing higher lows over the past month until Russia happened and threw the whole market off, but the stock has recovered very strong again very quickly. If we can stay above $4 resistance in the coming days, then I feel that this is a good entry point. But if we drop below 4, then I feel that an entry point somewhere between 3 and 3.50 would represent fantastic value. That is my analysis of what I think is a good entry point, but what do you think? And where do you think the share price will be in the next 3 months or 12 months? Drop me a comment and let me know if you are selling, MVIS, holding, or have you been buying the dip? And if you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon page where I bring weekly updates of stocks that I feel are going to make big gains. Some of these stocks are stocks that I do not cover on the YouTube channel. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one.